Hey guys, what's up? Matt here, and today I'm going to go through our step-by-step system of how to handle any objection. We're going to break it down. I'm going to do a screen share for you. I'm going to take you through the flows, the scripts, everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you are armed with what you need in order to be able to handle objections, close more deals, make more sales. All right, guys, make sure you stay all the way to the end of the video and cue the intro. So now the key to understanding objections and the key to being good at objection handling is to have a system, right? You have to actually have a system at play. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know where you're going. Most people give up in objections, and you might be guilty of this yourself, because you just run out of shit to say. We don't ever want to run out of stuff to say because we want to know exactly where we're going and what we're doing. So first things first, right? We need to break down. We have some categories of objections being logistical and fear, okay? And then smokescreen, okay? But we're gonna focus on logistical and fear because smokescreen is more like the person is just too polite to tell you they're not actually interested in your product or service, okay? So I kind of just look at it as like basically a BS objection for someone who's too polite to actually tell you that they're just not interested. You're selling chicken, they want beef, okay? Now, logistical objections. We have to, first of all, assume that all objections are logistical, okay? Because if we assume it's a fear-based or a mindset-based objection, we're gonna start beating people over the head with a mindset bat that don't require it, right? And you're just gonna piss off your prospect because they have a genuine logistical objection that they require to overcome in order to be able to get the outcome or like begin the product, service, whatever it is, right? We have money, logistical, think about it, logistical, partner, logistical, okay? Those are all different things. And then we have fear-based money, fear-based partner, fear-based, think about it, okay? So we need to clearly identify logistical versus fear, and we always need to assume it's logistical first, but then have a pathway to deal with each logistical objection as it comes, and then transition into a different style of objection handling. Now, fear-based objections, it's totally normal, okay? So in order to be identified, you have to understand it. Some people are just scared to move forward. I used to be in fitness, right? And I would see people who were terrified of failure and terrified of success. I've been single for a long time. I blame being single and unhappy because I'm overweight. What if I lose weight and I'm still single and I'm happy? Okay? These are real things, okay? Parents can mess people up badly through no fault of their own a lot of the time, right? Everyone's doing the best they can. So these fear-based objections are real. Some people just lack the self-belief that when they put the money down, they're actually gonna do something about it, okay? We need to help that person through that because they're not gonna get any benefit from just sitting there on the sidelines their whole life, right? Now, a logistical-based objection. Logistical is like, for example, if I look at like a logistical partner, they physically cannot make the decision without the consent of their partner, and their partner is not there, okay? Now, we don't wanna go through and be the guy who causes a giant fight, and there are things that we can do to make sure we get the high level of commitment, but like that's a genuine logistical objection. So money objections are usually a proposition of value, right? Or ROI, or whether it's monetary or non-monetary ROI. Money is the easiest objection to overcome, okay? So it's the first thing that we're gonna try and handle within our cycle. Partner objection is the second easiest to overcome, and then think about it is much more difficult, okay? So money objection is usually just a proposition of value, and it's usually just kind of a sticker shock thing. So we can overcome that quite easily, and I'll show you how a little bit later in the video. And if you guys do like this video, comment objections down below right now. And then that'll sort of let me know that you want me to do more of this style of content where I go much more in depth. So let's have a look at what a partner objection is. A partner objection is someone who may need to consult their partner, okay, before making a call, or it's an appeal to a third-party authority that isn't there, so it gives them a scapegoat to not take action, or they can place the responsibility of their outcome on somebody else, okay? And a lot of people like doing that, okay? I think about an objection, they're really tricky. A lot of the time they're quite vague, and I'll give some examples a little bit later on of how you can kind of tease through these. But for the most part, it's gonna be about money, right? They need to think about the money, they need to think about the time, whatever it may be. And so it's a scenario where we best address it first as logistical, but it's most likely gonna be some sort of fear-based objection. What we do first is we wanna identify the objection. So someone comes to me and they go, hey Matt, this sounds amazing. I'm 100% sold, okay? I just need to take 24 hours, check my finances and make sure my partner's on board. Just make sure this is the right decision, but I'm 100% on board. Okay, so I've just been shotgunned with a bunch of different objections. Okay, I've got 24 hours, which is like think about it. I've got check finances, which is a combination of think about it and money. I've got a partner objection, and I've got another think about it objection. So, okay, I'm gonna weed through that, and in my head, I'll immediately go, okay, that makes sense, man. And from what I understand, like, money could potentially be the issue right now for you. If you did have the finances available, would this be the answer to you, right? So money is the easiest. So I'm gonna ignore everything and I'm gonna go for money. Okay, so first identify the objection. And it's more identifying the objection that you want to handle first, and we always go for money. We do money-based objection, follow the script, let the customer find ways to come up with funding, attempt twice to bring up funding options. If customer still doesn't want to commit, we go to fear-based. So what we want to do is help the prospect come up with solutions, okay, to solve the problem, which is why the first thing I ask is, money aside, if you did have the funding, would this be the answer for you? I need to take it from a objection and put it into a problem. Right? I want to get on the same side of the table, and I want to get some buy-in and some detail around why they think this would be a good option for them. Because if the product or if the solution is here and it's in this little product or service that we're doing, right, then it makes it, the conversation that I have is much easier because I no longer have to try and sell the efficacy. We're just sort of solving problems to make it happen. Okay, if you did have the funding, would this work for you? Yes. Okay, why do you feel that way? Getting detail, which entrenches them in their idea. Okay, so I can see that money might be the issue from what you told me. How do you think we can resolve that? Where do you think we can find the funding to get the training or the coaching to actually get you where you want to go in your business, right? And you can exchange that for whatever you sell. Step 2, let them come up with their own solutions. I'm putting it back on them. Okay, what avenues do you have to find funding to get your business up to actually get it to where you can lose 10 kilos and have more energy for your kids? Like where are we going to find the money? If they're unable to find it, have you considered putting it on credit card or borrowing or whatever, right? Now, then what we're going to do is usually kind of go through, we'll come up in that time with a plan that works for them, a payment plan, something like that. Then from there, we're going to re-ask for the sale. Okay, would that be appropriate, or how would you like to proceed? Then what they might do is go, yeah, that works, that sounds really good, I just need to check with my partner. Okay, that's no dramas. We're now into a partner objection. Establish that you're on the same side of the script, okay? Okay, and if your partner was here and they were on board with this, would this be the answer for you, do you feel? Yes, it would. Okay, perfect. Why do you feel that way? What do you think would specifically be of most benefit to you in actually getting to there? And like, how does your partner feel about you learning the skills so you can X, Y, Z? Okay, well, what are you going to do if your partner doesn't want you to invest so that you can actually get that level of financial freedom that you want over the next 6-12 months? Like, what are you going to do then? So how are you going to learn the skills if your partner doesn't want you to invest, right? Now, there are 2 results here. Your partner's going to be say, well, I would proceed anyway, right? In which case we know that we can get that sale, and then we can proceed to ask for the close, and then we can go into our fear-based stuff. Or they say they won't proceed. Okay, now there's 5 levels of commitment. Okay, comment 5 levels if you want me to do a video specifically on the 5 levels of commitment. We've got a paid in full, a payment plan, okay, a deposit. We've got a scheduled deposit, so like basically taking a payment detail, and a commitment to change in a follow-up. This is where I'll go for what's called the open wallet test, okay, because they said that they won't proceed, so I'll try and get the highest level of commitment and then schedule a follow-up, whatever I need to do in order to help that person transition into getting the help that they need, okay? So as you can see, it's a system, okay, right? Now, then we're going into fear-based. So what we've essentially done, right, is we've taken them through all the money stuff and we've agreed on what payment terms would work for them. Then we've gone into a partner objection. Okay, the partner objection, they've gone through and they've said that they'll move forward anyway. It's a very common thing to hear that, yes, they'll move forward anyway, even if their partner doesn't want them on board. Then what we're doing is we're going into now, because there's no more logistics that need to be taken care of. The money works, the partner doesn't matter. Okay, now it's about moving forward. If all those line up and they don't want to proceed, I need to go into now, I need to change the way that they think. I need to change the way they make decisions. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my more fear-based reframes, mindset-based, whatever it is, decision-making based reframes. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to have a gradual escalation. Number 1, might be, okay, so I can understand this is a big move for you and you might take some time to think, but can I ask you a question? Do you feel like mindset can affect decision making? Yes, most people would say yes to that, right? Okay, and are you 100% happy with where you're at with XYZ right now? No, because the whole sales call has come to that realization. Okay, and are you okay with that decision-making process dictating your life and your results moving forward? Well, no, well, like, why not? Okay, then we can have that conversation, tie it back to a really great anchor, which is, well, like, what do you feel like you need to do in order to put yourself in the best possible position to be able to achieve your outcome? And that can be like the end of each loop, okay? Then we're gonna go through, if that doesn't work and they don't realize that, then we'll go into like a more specific analogy, an island analogy, okay? This one I like to use, okay? And then again, loop back around. So what do you feel like you need to do to help yourself get off the island, you know, to put yourself in the best position to be able to get the outcome that you want? Okay, well that makes sense, right? Because, you know, this sounds really, really good. I'm all for it. The money works, the partners, no dramas. I just need that time. That makes sense, right? Because we all make decisions based on our perspective. Okay, but the hardest thing is making decisions based on the perspective where we want to be, not where we are. Because if we're always making decisions based on where we are, it's the only place we'll ever be, right? And then, you know, bang, bang, bang. And there's many more. It's a system. And so objection handling is like anything else in life. You have to study it, you have to understand where you're going. And so there is a system at play. I want you guys to sit there, I want you guys to comment process if you want me to do that more in-depth video. Okay, I want you to comment 5 levels, okay? If you want me to do that video specific on the 5 levels of commitment. But I want you guys to sit down, I want you to go to salesniper.net, I want you to download the objection handling matrix. And I want you to study it. There's hyperlinks to videos explaining each individual objection sort of in more detail, right? And I want you to head over to the Closing Code Facebook group because, you know, you can ask questions in there. I hope that video was helpful for you guys. I hope it gives you an insight into how I like to handle objections and how I have my team handle objections. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that kind of good stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.